Welcome to the
YHELPful podcast,
where we bridge the gap between teens and adults, discussing everyday life and current events.
Hey everyone, we're back with another episode of the YHELPful podcast. This is William Bell III.
My name is Sarah Miles.
And we're going to be your hosts for today's episode. Today's podcast will have more of a serious tone as we're going to be discussing domestic violence awareness. I'm going to lead this off by talking about the domestic violence hotline. For anyone who may be listening that needs help, I'm going to give out the number right now. So listen up. It's 800-799-7233. That's 800-799-7233. And you can also get more resources specifically from them from www.thehotline.org. You can learn more about how that works and how to get help in your specific situation.
So domestic violence can be a very touchy subject, but it definitely should not be taken lightly, and it should be treated very seriously because, your consideration could potentially save a life. Domestic violence can have a direct impact on your mental health, and it can be a danger to yourself or others. When involved in a situation like that, whether you're the one experiencing it or witnessing it, it's extremely important to utilize your resources to get yourself or whoever out of the situation. So let's talk about how we can kind of combat that type of situation, how to safely get out of it.
Yeah, and anybody could have really been exposed to domestic violence as well. It might not even be in the normal place that you think.
Yeah.
It could just be home life. A lot of us have witnessed parent divorces and different things like that. It could be family, friends, residents. You might have been exposed to that, or it could just be news coverage. You're just watching it online, you see something on CNN, you're like, wow, I can't believe that. So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about some of the ways that you can first go off and deal with the situation if you're ever in it, like you said. The first is get help, bro. That's the first point. Get help. You can speak to a friend or loved one, if you feel comfortable, and make them aware of your truth. I feel like that's a huge key. It's just being open about it. But I understand it is sensitive though, because
it can be.
You don't always want to talk about it. Sometimes the person that is threatening you unsafe with is telling you, hey,
instructing you not to.
But oftentimes that can be their thing. That can be their trap in order to make sure that you stay in a situation. So especially for victims of domestic violence, it can be difficult, but I feel it's the only way to really start going about getting out of the situation, and it's not going to be easy either.
And I'm glad you said that because, like you said, if it's a thing where if you're in that situation and they're instructing you to do or not to do something, like you said, it can be a tactic. So I think in terms of getting help, you should definitely educate yourself because there are tactics and there are strategies and there are ways that people who might put you in the situation, there are ways to, try to keep you in it and not allow you to get out of it. But we are here to tell you that you can get out of it and it's possible, and you should definitely do what you can to get out of the situation.
Yeah, and then also the hotline that I shared in the beginning of the podcast and the website, you can go there for information on what to do if you're not sure what to do. And and you can also talk to someone if you need to with the hotline, and they can be a support for you. You can talk to them, you can open up to them, and it's not somebody that you have to worry about this person coming into contact with and being like, hey, did you talk to so and so? It's an anonymous person, so you can feel open and cool with that. And then the second point I want to get into is just how to identify abuse if you're from the outside looking in. And that's to just first off, don't live in denial. Don't just be like, oh, I didn't see it.
Right, or even be like, it didn't happen. If you're the one experiencing it, it's key that you, again, like I said, or like you said, when it comes to making the person you might be in contact with, making them aware of your truth, you have to live in your own truth as well. So I know you might want to protect this person, or you might be the type of person that sees the good in everybody, but wrong is wrong. So it's key that you don't live in denial, because if you do, it could potentially, keep you stuck in that situation.
And also listen to your friends. If they're telling you that the way that somebody's treating you is not right, you should listen. You should really consider that deeply. The family's telling you, hey, this person, I'm not sure if they're good for you. I'm not sure if this person is somebody that you really want to let move in with you, because I don't think that they're safe. You need to listen to them. Don't just be caught in Like if it is like a partner, don't be just caught up in the, oh, I'm in love with them, like stage.
Right.
Don't be caught up in that. Like make sure that you're thinking with your head and make sure you're thinking rationally before you end up in a situation that gets really difficult to get out of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we also have to recognize that abuse comes in many different forms. Like it's not just physical, it can come emotional, it can come verbal, it can come like mental. Like, so you really have to understand that just because someone isn't like putting their hands on you, that doesn't mean that you're not suffering.
Being abused, yeah, definitely. Like a lot of people, you know, they see what they see on the surface, so they think, oh, if there are no marks, there are no, you know, visible showings, then it's not abuse. But like you said, there are many different forms, and that just comes with educating yourself, not being, you know, not living in denial, and just identifying abuse.
Yeah, and okay, so the third point I have is this plan for safety. And having a safety plan can be a huge factor in helping you escape whatever situation you are in if you're dealing with domestic abuse. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what that is. A safety plan is a set of actions that can help lower your risk of being hurt by your partner or whoever may be abusing you. It includes information specific to you and your life that will increase your safety at school, home, and other places that you go on a daily basis. And that information came from hotline.org, the one that I shared with you in the beginning. And you can also create a comprehensive safety plan specific for you by using that resource and really going there and even talking to someone on the hotline. They can help you create that. And you can clear your browser history. And there are lots of pop-ups that come up when you get on that website. I'll trust you, I've been there many times, like just like trying to research this so I can give this information to y'all. But it's continual bombardment with, hey, close your browser, like the X is right here, clear your browser. So you're always trying to like make sure you understand that and know that, because you never know, the person could come on the laptop after you. So that's the one thing when you are looking for help, make sure to cover your tracks. Make sure to cover your tracks. Don't be smart about it. Be smart about it. Like, we want you to go get help, but also be smart, because we understand that it's not easy. You know, it's not always like the best thing to do. It might not be the most opportune time to do it. But then the last point. Oh, you can go ahead and say something.
Well, I was gonna say, I think we've been talking a lot about, you know, what you can do when you're in the situation. Yeah. So I think it's, you know, we can go ahead and jump into it. Like if you're someone who's a bystander or just witnessing it in general. So some things you can do if you're a witness to DV is, you know, ask the necessary questions, but you still want to be sensitive to the subject matter. So, you know, you can start off, you know, like, are you okay? How are you feeling? And then another good point that I've actually learned is, you know, state facts. Like, you know, you don't have to sit there and just kind of talk about your opinion, but when you state facts, there's nothing to really argue about. When you're talking to somebody going through it, again, it's touchy. They might not, you know, be open to conversation. They might want to protect the person or whatever the case may be. So
don't give your opinion.
Exactly.
Tell a fact,
exactly. Just tell a fact. Just like, hey, I've noticed that the past 2 weeks, you know, you haven't come to work, or you won't get out of bed, or you've been acting different. You know, when you state the facts, then it's easier to, you know, gauge the conversation.
Yeah, I'd say definitely for sure. And another thing that you can do is just you can also learn like all these things. Like I know we took the Be There certificate, you know, at the beginning of this summer, you know, to learn how to really interact with people that we think might be like struggling with mental health in one way or another. But you can also do the same thing for domestic violence. You can do that Be There certificate if you think somebody's going through it. Yeah. You can also go to, like I said before, the website, look for the domestic violence hotline, and you can learn how to start a conversation with someone that you think may be struggling with that specific issue.
Absolutely. And you have to understand also that all victims might not want help, honestly. And like I said many times, it might be because they want to see the good in this person, or they might think it might be too much to get out of the situation, or they might get hurt. So just understanding when you are, I don't want to say signing up, because it's not like it's a chore. You know, when you see someone in need, especially a loved one, you're going to want to help. But when you do decide, I am going to be a helpful resource and I'm going to commit to helping somebody out, you just have to understand that it might come a bit more challenging, just because they might not be in a headspace to where they want to help.
Yeah. And like Sarah said, like sometimes like the person might not even be wanting or looking for help. So that can definitely make it kind of difficult to give assistance. But if you are going to go through with it, try anyway. Definitely don't put yourself in harm's way.
Be careful.
You definitely don't want to add to the situation that's already bad. You don't want to get yourself being abused to where, like, in a situation to where you're getting blackmailed or something.
Right, or even getting hurt.
Yeah, like you
have to focus on the person you're helping and not. I feel like when you're that third party helping, you have to focus on the victim and focus on your mission to help them and not focus on the abuser, because that can potentially put you in danger.
Yeah, because like same way that if somebody was drowning and you didn't know how to swim, you wouldn't jump in the water.
You call a lifeguard. You know what I mean?
You call a lifeguard. You're not gonna be like, hey, let me just, now we can both be drowning.
Right.
That's not gonna help. Right. So you want to make sure that you're smart about it. You think about it. And you really help in a helpful way instead of helping in a way that just makes things worse for everyone. But yeah, I mean, that's all we had today on domestic violence. I hope you guys were able to get something from that. If you didn't get anything else, just know that you can go to the website. Like I said,
call the number
3 or 4 times. Yeah, call the number, or at least volunteer to be somebody listening on the hotline if you want to help with that. But yeah, you can check us out and check out more resources on YHELPnow.com and follow YHELP on social media, all the platforms. And you can check out this episode of the YHELP podcast and more on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you may get your podcasts. But that's it for us, guys.
Let the YHELPful podcast be your compass to growing up. For more information, follow us at YHELPnow on all social media platforms and check us out at YHELPnow.com for mental health and life skill resources. Tune into the
YHELPful podcast,
and we hope to be